don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a day. Let me tell you. Oh my God, we don't have the lights on here. Hold on. See, it's been such a day. I don't even know what's going on. I'm like running around with a chicken with my head cut off. Or a head with my chicken cut off, whichever way you want to look at it. There we go. Light, bright, beautiful, and away we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 569th episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. And, woo, what a day. I will tell you, we are inching closer and closer and closer to what I still am hopeful will be a wild political showdown in the state of Indiana. I am becoming more and more convinced that when this crazy redistricting bill goes to the Senate next Monday, that the Senate's going to go through the motions. They're going to hear it as a full Senate. Then it's going to be assigned to their committee. And then one of two things is going to happen. It either won't pass out of committee, and if they truly have the best in mind, it'll die at committee. Or it might pass out of committee and then be voted down as a whole vote on the floor of the Senate. And I'm telling you, when and if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, no, we are going to see, that will be a day like we have not seen in a very, very long time. It'll be a wild, wild couple of days once that happens. And I think that we are headed to that. A lot of things are going on. We're going to bring you a lot of content from the various committees over the last couple of days. Some things I want you guys to hear. Things that I'm sure a lot of you have not heard. And I'm asking you, please, 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 this is very, very important to hear. Please, please share this, because this is something that everybody in the state of Indiana needs to see, because it affects everyone. This is going to be a state issue. This is not a Muncie. This is not an Anderson thing. This is not a Newcastle thing. This is not an Indianapolis thing. This is an everywhere thing. And for the folks that are outside of Indiana, this is either happening in your area or it soon will be, so you'll want to hear it too. So you might as well watch, listen, and share the show with everyone you know. If you could help us out, we don't ask you for much. We don't ask you for money. Although if you want to give us some money, you kick some money in for all of the work we do here. We're not going to stop you, but, we don't ask for that. But we do ask that you smash that like. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, that you hit that YouTube subscription button and then click the bell next to it so you get notified when we are live. Today, we did something that we have never done before. We live streamed 3 meetings at the exact same time, 3 consecutive meetings. No, concurrent. Not consecutive, concurrent. It would be concurrent meetings because they all happened at 8:30. They were all at 8:30. So we had a meeting in one room, we had another meeting in another room, we had another meeting in a third room, and we streamed all of those so people could watch whatever they wanted. So people could watch one, then the other, or whatever they wanted to do. That way, nobody missed anything. We also live streamed the full house session at 1:30, and so that's been an undertaking. And then we are here now. So smash that like button, if you will. Smash that subscription button if you have not, and then click the bell so you get notified when we are live or we drop other content. Other than that, we're here live 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday. Other than last night, we weren't here, and we apologize. We had to do some tests to make sure that we were able to do what we needed to do today. That's the reason we weren't here last night, really, mostly. So do all of that. Give us a comment over in the live comment box if you're here live. Live, obviously, is Thursday, December 4th, where it's about 9:16 p.m. Eastern. If you're here via the replay button in the future, comment down below and let us know what you think of the show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to note, if you have not had a chance to look at the moon, this is it's one of the moons they tell us like every year. It's like, oh, this is never, it's a big moon. It's going to, whatever the deal is. Apparently, the exact situation that we are in with this moon will not happen again for another 23 years. So if you have not had a chance to look at the moon, go look at the moon. You can do it now. Don't turn me off to do it. Just take your phone on out, keep the TV going, or wait till the show's over. It'll still be there, but I would highly recommend anybody alive today going and looking at that moon because it's amazing, and it will not be this way, this big, this in this area again for another like 23 years. So go check that out if you are so inclined. Yeah, I guess, Karen. And then before we start the show, is Tweety Bird still hiding? Like, is she not here in the comments? Doesn't, like, literally she's still hiding because she thinks that she was. That's so insane to me. Like, because Karen was away for a long time, and like every now and then I would just think like, wait a minute, where's Karen? And I noticed that Tweety Bird doesn't comment anymore because she's mad at us because there were a lot of people in here that didn't think that Charlie Kirk should have been killed. Could you imagine being that nuts? I don't know. I hate when we lose people specifically permanently, but I always liked Tweety Bird, even though it was, she was kind of nuts. But I guess if you're somebody that's like, doesn't understand why someone shouldn't die because of their words, I guess maybe good riddance. I don't know. You should be able to see it. Everybody should be able to see it. Everyone should be able to see it. It's a moon and it's out there. I have not seen it yet. I'm actually going to go. Look at it after the show, so it's should be a good time. I haven't checked the cloud coverage, but there's people talking about it being beautiful, so I'm assuming the clouds aren't bad. That's hilarious, Eric. She's like, I'm not a conservative and I'm not sure of the show. Although she had been a viewer for like 3 years. It's like, what in the hell are you talking about? It didn't just become conservative, you nutbag. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, Karen. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. So Alva can't see it where he's at. Wah, wah. That's sad. Well, that sucks. Okay. So tonight, I don't know what you mean, Catherine. It was bright and clear earlier. Yeah, I'll have to. Maybe towards the end of the show, I can go mobile and I can run out there and check it out. I'll see. We'll see. We'll see how we go. We got a lot of content to get through. So okay, man, I was really freaking out right before the show started. My main computer here started like glitching out, even though this computer over here is quickly becoming the main computer. It's not what does the heavy lifting. I need to switch them. I don't want to do that, but it started glitching out like something I'd never seen before. I actually thought I was being hacked. It looked like somebody was running a magnet over it. I'd never seen anything like it. It was crazy, Kate. I'll have to explain to you after the show what was going on there. So, okay. Well, for tonight's show, the name of the show is The Republican. Yeah, I've got it in parentheses. The Republican political advantage is the public's disadvantage. And I say that as a right-leaning libertarian, a libertarian-leaning conservative, whatever you want to call it, whatever. You know who I am. If you don't, welcome to the show, subscribe, do all that stuff, and welcome to the party. So over the last 2 days, I have heard some things in government that I haven't heard in my entire life. And amazingly, these things didn't come from Donald Trump. They're coming from everyday Hoosiers, people that we know, people that live around us, people that live, work, breathe, and carry on around us, and people who are here, obviously in Indiana, which is in the Midwest, not on the East Coast, not on the West Coast, not in some cave somewhere, not in Washington, D.C., but our fellow brothers and sisters and people around us. And some of these people are saying some of the craziest things. Now, we talked a little bit about it last night. The reason they're doing this is to try to keep this out of a lawsuit. But it's just crazy with my... Okay, so my brain's broken after today, so I can't do that math. I can't hardly ever do math, but specifically. So let's see exactly what the deal is. What's going on here? Okay, so 44 years. Do this minus 10. So for 34 years, I've been involved in politics in some form or another. Obviously, when I was 10 and 11, it wasn't of any real magnitude. I wasn't in the back room making deals and listening to things. I was helping my grandmother go door to door. I was riding on parades, on the floats and doing all of that. But in one way or another, I've been involved politically for the last 34 years of my life. And I can say that it's like this. It's like if you could imagine showing up if you could imagine showing up to like a Pentecostal church, or to like an Amish church, or a Pilgrim Holiness church, and you show up there to go in, and all of the little old ladies got their buns up in their hair, and they've got their big dresses on, and they're all there ready, to hear the word. And you come in and you're ready to hear the word, but you've got like you pull in on like a Harley Fat Boy or whatever it's called, and you've got like chains and tattoos, and you come in and you've got like purple hair, and you come in with your boyfriend, and it's like that shocking. Imagine how shocking it would be that for those people. What I've heard in the last couple of days at the State House in reference to House Bill 1032, the redistricting bill, and what the Republican leadership that have been pushing the bill have been saying, is that shocking to me. So we're going to get into all of that. We'll talk about all of that. We're also going to talk a little bit about some things in Muncie towards the end, and a couple things from Anderson towards the end. So we are going to do some local government stuff. I do want to say a very big shout out to the city of Muncie tonight. And no matter what anybody thinks about the communications director, Amber Green, whatever you think of the job she does or whatever, I will give her a big shout out. She was very instrumental in putting together the Light Up Downtown Muncie event that happened from like 5 to 8 or whatever. And it was a great event. They put it on. Dustin Clark did everything he could do to disrupt it, derail it, and just absolutely make it a shit show like he did the Eclipse event. But they were able to thwart him and stop him from doing that. So he wasn't able to do that. So big shout out and congratulations to Amber, to Mayor Ridenauer, to the city of Muncie, everybody that put that on. It was a beautiful event, and cold, but it was definitely an awesome event. So big shout out to everybody down there. But we will have some Muncie stuff to talk about. We've got some Anderson stuff to talk about. And I might have just a little pinch of Henry County things to talk about here towards the end. But the majority of this show is going to be focusing on this redistricting bill. I will tell you before we get into it. Yes, in Louisiana, they are waiting to hear from their Supreme Court on their redistricting situation, and it's going to be wild when we get it in. Now, back to you, Bilbrey, in Indiana. So there you go, Alva. I will tell you this. I will tell you the whole house, the full house chamber, all of them, all 100 of them. I don't know that all 100 was there, but the majority of them were there, and they heard discussion on House Bill 1032. That's the redistricting bill today at 1:30. And I think that there were a total of 15 amendments. 15 amendments that the Democrats attempted to push through, and they all failed. Every amendment failed. And it was, it was like all the votes were 66 no's to 24 yeses, 68 no's to like 19 yeses, just things like that across the board. It was just a total wipeout, and they beat them out of all of that. So first and foremost, it was heard, and no amendments were added. It does pass on to, thank you, the realist. It does pass on to the final vote tomorrow. The final vote is at 10 a.m. And going back to Catherine's comment earlier, it will 100% pass out of the third vote. The House will vote for the bill, and they will give it a passing vote, and it will pass to the Senate. I'm about 30% positive, 70% positive that the Senate's going to kill it. I'm pretty strong. I've been talking to some people, talking to some sources, and I think that the Senate's going to stick it to Braun. They have not had the vote. I don't think that they've not had the vote. They've never had the vote. They didn't have the vote in July. They didn't have the vote in August. They didn't have the vote in September. They didn't have the vote in October when Braun started really pushing for a special session. In November, when he called for a special session, the day that he called, they stated, we don't have the votes. Then Roderick Bray said, we're not going to meet. And it was a whole bunch of chaos. He reversed course. And I was at first mad because he reversed course. I said, I can't believe that he was willing to do this. Yeah, I'll bet you $20. I'll bet you $20, Catherine. That's a fair deal. I think that Bray is tired of Braun's bull crap, and I think this is his chance finally once and for all to say, okay, big boy, you want it, you get it. So we'll see. Yes, thank you, the realist. We appreciate that. As always, all of you guys' support and help are always very appreciated. But your views and your comments are and your likes are appreciated the most. So thank you very much. Okay, so the vote will occur tomorrow. We will be live streaming it. It'll be a very quick vote. It'll be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. They'll go in, they will read it, they'll have the vote, and it'll be done. It'll be a very quick deal, but we will be live streaming it. You will be able to catch it right here. And so you'll be able to see it. If you want to see it, you can watch it right here. Okay, so first up, we're going to go. I want you guys to hear from Ben Smoltz. He is the state representative that was the author of 1032. And it's so weird because in policing world, 1032 is a handgun. 1032 is a gun. And so every time I've been saying this 1032, it's just kind of interesting. It's like the elected officials have a gun against the heads of all of us Hoosiers. And it's like so many people in the federal government have a gun against the heads, figuratively and literally in some aspects, because of all the swatting bull crap that's been going on against some of the elected officials. It's just total madness going on. I think it's just fitting that the number is 1032, but the House Bill 1032 is the bill for the redistricting. And so I want to give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to let you guys see this, and we'll read this off here. All right. Allows the General Assembly to amend congressional districts a time other than the first regular session of the General Assembly, conveying immediately following the United States decennial census, specifies requirements that apply to any action challenging the apportionment of congressional districts or General Assembly districts, establishes new Indiana congressional districts, provides for expiration of the current congressional districts of the date of 2026 general election, specifies that for the purpose of the 2026 primary and general election, a precinct may cross the boundaries of the congressional district, requires the election division to assist each county voter registration office with the implementation of this act, makes technical and necessary changes in related statutes. Okay, and so that's that. You can go through here and see all of the actions that occurred today. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. But before we go there, I want to go to yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. It was Tuesday. I want to go to Tuesday's committee hearing where they're kind of arguing some of the back and forth about some things. And I want you guys to hear some things here. So I'm going to back this up and we're going to go to 11 minutes. We're going to go to 11:12. That'll be a good place. All right. Let's rock and roll and let's listen to what we got to say here.
Making a motion and second the motion, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Because the reason why I ask is, we got the maps less than 24 hours ago to see what the actual proposal was. We've had this bad weather. I drove home to Bloomington yesterday and back up here, which was no party, to get back in there. And so I'm concerned that having only one hearing here in Indianapolis is limiting, particularly with this weather conditions, people being able to get here. You might recall that when you kind of oversaw this process in 2021, we had a series of hearings throughout the state. We were at,
Okay, so what we're listening to right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Democrat Matt Pierce, and Matt is making he's asking the committee chair, Timothy Wesco, of the Elections and Apportionment Committee, to consider pushing off the vote on this bill that they were going to be taking later that day, because Matt Pierce said, well, let's say for the sake of argument that we don't have an issue with this being a mid-decade redistricting. Let's say that we're all okay, it's going to happen. There's no reason that we should do this any different than any other redistricting that we ever do every 10 years. And how we run those every 10 years is it comes to the House. We get time to see the maps. We get time to discuss the maps. We get time to go back out in the community and have third House meetings and legislative updates with our constituents about the maps. And then when we get ready to have the vote, we go and we hold a committee hearing in all the corners of Indiana, in each congressional district, so the people from those districts can get to it, drive closer, and have time to give us their thoughts, and we can have our thoughts and share to them. And then we can come back here and have one final committee hearing and let people attend, and then we can have the vote. And that's how we do redistricting. Instead, what they're doing now was they only got the maps on Monday. Less than 24 hours after they got the maps, they're in the committee having the committee meeting, and they're expected to vote in the middle of a snowstorm when there's only 60-some people that signed up and only 40-some people actually testified. Now, I will tell you, of those 40-some people, okay, you can't look at the seats. You gotta not look at the seats. So here's the deal. The committee is only made up of 13 people. There are 9 Republicans and 4 Democrats. So the committee is made up of 9 Republicans and 4 Democrats. That's all that's going to be voting on in the committee yesterday. All of the people in the background, those are just the public that are getting to set up there because they're going to be called up to testify. So there's only 13 of the actual representatives here. The rest of those people back there are public members. So keep that in mind. You're not looking at the full House members. But of the 43 people that testified, only 2 of them testified in support of this. Everybody else testified against it. Okay. So, all right, let's let him go on. So the guy speaking is this gentleman here, and he's asking for what I just said. He's asking, can we slow this down and let people have a chance to speak, and listen to how he asks and listen to how the chair responds to him.
A meeting in Valparaiso, one in Lafayette, one in Elkhart. We had a meeting in Fort Wayne, and also here in the House chamber. That was in August, a month before actually any bill was considered. So I was wondering, would it not make sense for us to do the same process that we did before? I mean, this is the same significant change that we're making to these maps. So why wouldn't we want to have a meeting in every congressional district as we did in 21?
Representative Pierce, thank you for your remarks. I appreciate your concerns, and I will take them into consideration. Representative Smaltz.
So, look, it's not a very clear video. Their video is not high quality. And this dude is a weird looking dude. He looks like Eddie Munster or something. Definitely has a very strange accent. I can't tell what the accent. His accent really bothers me. But it looked like he had a shit-eating grin on his face, like when he was saying, like, "Thank you, I'll consider that." And then he doesn't even get that out of his mouth before he turns to Smaltz and he's like, "Okay, I'm ready for your results." And they're not considering that. He doesn't give a damn. Listen, I'm so conflicted because I understand, like, I do this more than anybody. I get up and speak to the void when I speak in front of the council. And oftentimes I will tell them, look, I know you're not going to do anything with this. I know none of you are listening. I know none of you care. I'm just putting this on the record. I'm just getting this out there. I'm doing this for political theater. But it's like these guys are doing this and all these, and it's like, they should do it like lawyers. You don't even need to put these arguments out. Just type them up, send them in. We'll put it in the record and we'll just vote because it doesn't matter. Nothing changes anybody. Nothing changes anybody. All right. Very, very strange. Okay. So now he kicks over after he's told him he'll consider his remarks. Now we're going to Representative Ben Smaltz, and Ben Smaltz is the gentleman from the Republican side of the aisle, and Ben Tim Westcoast from District 21. He's the chair. The gentleman Matt Pierce, the Democrats from District 61. He's the one that just asked him to consider having it in all the congressional districts. And then we're going to go to Representative Ben Smaltz, who's from District 52. He's the Republican, and he's the author of the bill, the redistricting bill. That's not fair. JD changed his tune. Well, that is true. Now, I think I might take it back and let you guys see it in a minute, but they start and JD Prescott actually gets here late. He comes in late, which I think is so rude. It's so ridiculous. JD, you're a professional, bro. If you can't have your ass in the seat when the bell rings, you're tardy, and you know what that means. So, well, I don't know if it's now. I'll let you guys see it if it's not now, but we're going to go here. I want you to hear this. This is very important.
Is recognized to present House Bill 1032.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, members of the public who've come in today. I'd like to start with an opening statement, if that's
Yes.
all right, Mr. Chairman, and then I'll go in.
Yeah. JD's not here, so you'll notice that there's an empty chair right back here. So what we've got going on here is right here. This gentleman is Ben Smaltz. Okay. This person here is Kyle Pierce. We all know Kyle Pierce. And then we got this empty chair back here, and this empty chair is JD Prescott. So he's there because we see his satchel, his man bag is there, but he's been off down the hallway eating a donut or getting a drink or, I don't know. So, but it's how rude of him not to be there when his side's presenting.
To the sections of the bill. Over many months, I've carefully considered and evaluated the question of redistricting. And I've not approached this responsibility lightly.
Here comes JD.
While this may not be the course everyone prefers, it is the one clearly available to us under the law and under the constitutional structure the founding fathers intentionally created. What we are doing here is consistent with what is taking place across the nation. States such as California, Virginia, Texas, and Missouri have already completed or initiated revisions to their congressional maps, each relying on the authority granted to them by the Constitution. Across the country, congressional districts are being drawn with political considerations in mind.
So he very, very much so, Alva. So just as a quick rundown, the 13 members that we're going to be dealing with, that you're going to be hearing from this committee, is the chair, Timothy Wesco, Zach Payne, Kendall Culp, Ethan Lawson, Kyle Pierce, JD Prescott, Jim Pressel, Ben Smaltz, Tim Yoakum. Those are the 9 Republicans. And then the Democrats are Carolyn Jackson, Sue Arrington, Matt Pierce, and Cherish Pryor. So that's the people that we're going to be playing with here in this committee.
Because the law allows it, and because the Constitution assigns this very important task to the states. The framers themselves, Hamilton, Madison, and their contemporaries, were fully aware that what we now call gerrymandering existed even in the earliest years of the Republic. Yet they still vested the responsibility for drawing congressional districts in state legislatures, bodies they understood to be partisan by nature. The Supreme Court of the United States has repeatedly affirmed that drawing congressional districts to favor a political party is authority that rests squarely with the states, unless and until Congress chooses to otherwise legislate. For nearly 238 years, Congress has declined to alter or limit this authority, leaving the long-standing constitutional design in place. Until Congress acts under the powers granted to it in Article 1, Section 4, the responsibility remains with us, the states. I remain fully committed to carrying out this duty with integrity, transparency, and respect for the legal framework under which we operate. The founders entrusted the states with this role, and I intend to fulfill it faithfully. To be clear, we have drawn these maps to create a Republican political advantage. Districts 1, 2, 3, 7, and 9 will be 753,948 individuals. Districts 4, 5, 6 will be 753,947 individuals, meaning a standard deviation of less than 1. Efforts were made to minimize dividing county and township units.
Oh, I just want everybody to hear what he said there. I about fell out. I about fell out when I heard him say that.
To be clear, we have drawn these maps to create a Republican political advantage. Districts 1, 2.
To be clear, that is not what you were voted to be sent to the seat to do. To be clear, you were voted and sent to this chair to give the people the advantage. To hell with you and your political party and your political party's advantage, that talk inside. So it makes me feel like a hypocrite saying this, but it's so egregious because, I'm always the one that when I get up at the podium and I say something and somebody says, oh, we don't want to talk politics here. And I always say, what do you mean you don't want to talk politics here? You're all politicians. We're inside the city building. You were all elected to sit here. You all want to be reelected to sit here. And I'm talking to you about stuff that you will vote yes or no on because you're politicians and you're sitting there. So I'm always the one that says, like, yeah, we're talking about politics. They're not supposed to. Now, there's a legal reason they're doing that. It's so this is not challenged for the Voters' Rights Act from 1964 or whatever. And the Supreme Court has held that if they're doing things for political performance to better their political, that they won't take those cases up. But it's just like, that's so wild to hear them say that. It's really hard to deal with because everybody knows what this is about. They know what's going on here. I've told a story to Kate a while back, but I used to sit and think, and I still do it with Ride Now sometimes, or anytime I'm having like a political big battle with some elected official, I always think this, like when we're saying different things, when I say something about Dustin Clark and I talk about how Dan's wrong, and Dan and his people come out and say, no, we're right, and Bilbrey's wrong. I always think, like, when I'm sitting there, like in the shower, or when I'm just getting ready to doze off at night and I'm thinking about it, I'm like wondering, like, look, there's people out here that's fighting for or against me or for or against Dan, but only Dan and I know what's going on. And Dan knows if I'm right or I'm wrong. And I know if he's right or wrong. And so, like, we can fool other people or whatever, I guess, but Dan and I know, or Sean Byram and I knew, or Sharon McShirley and I know, or, Sproles and I know what's going on in our battle. And it's like, I just wonder if ever he sits there and thinks like, yeah, man, Bilbrey's right. And I just got to figure out a way to prove him wrong, or I got to figure out a way to tell people not to believe. Like this guy, when he's sitting on the shitter, when he's in the shower, when he's shaving, when he's laying in bed dozing off, he's like, God, I literally had to go in there today and say, we crafted a bill to better our performance. To better our performance. Now, I'm going to go ahead and press play here. And I forgot to mention this, but I know that Megan asked a question about the caucus, and I've had several other people ask me about the caucus. I will explain about the caucus if she's still here, and there are 2 or 3 other people that ask about that after Catherine and I were on. So I will break down that caucus when we get to the Anderson thing. I just wanted to throw that out. All right, here we go.
2, 3, 7, and 9 will be 753,948 individuals. Districts 4, 5, 6 will be 753,947 individuals, meaning a standard deviation of less than 1. Efforts were made to minimize dividing county and township units. In fact, the current maps divide 8 counties, whereas the new maps divide 7. The current maps divide 13 townships, and the new maps divide 9. These maps, while favoring Republican congressional candidates, are more consistent with the political makeup of the state of Indiana as a whole.
Did he say asshole?
I believe everybody's had a copy of the bill. since hit the bill list yesterday. House Bill 1032.
I believe everybody's had a copy of the bill for the last 18 hours. Has everybody had a bill for the last 18 hours? Good,
I'll
good.
go through it briefly. Happy to stand for questions following. Section 1, LSA has not found anything saying that the General Assembly cannot redistrict mid-cycle. Section 1 makes it clear.
Haven't found anything saying we can't. Haven't found anything saying we should or that it's a good idea, but nothing says we can't.
Clear and provides clarity that we are completely capable of doing that. Section 2 is COVID language. If you remember when we drew our maps, we had plenty of extra time because there was an issue with the census, and we ended up doing it in an unusual date frame. So we're removing that. Section 3 is the pathway that any challenge to House Bill 1032 will go. It'll go to the Supreme Court of the state of Indiana. We're very aware that while some states have a late fall or late summer primary cycle,
yes, Kimberly.
we do not. Our dates are coming soon, so this will expedite that process.
Yes.
Section 4 is a date change. We change that when we do redistricting. Section 5 is a date change, and it refers to the new maps. Section 6 is a date.
Listen, folks. I wanna make sure everybody's aware. This is not members of the Republican Party. This is not the Republican Party. They are called Republicans. They are Republicans in name only. Right, Rhino, if you want. This is not Republican. This is not true Republican concern. What I am sitting here talking about is conservative belief and opinion. This horse shit is not.
Change, and what it says is the old maps expire so that the new maps would begin. From there, it is each individual district. I won't go through each of those individual sections, so if you would fast forward to section 8. There is an occasion where districts may cross precinct lines, and it gives a method for resolving
where districts, let's consider that for a moment. So this map has created districts where there might be the occasion where the district crosses precinct lines. We just remember listening to Madison County talking about this the other day, how they can't cross boundary lines, but yet the state and the handlers at the federal level have drawn up this map that allows these new districts to cross precinct lines. So not only is this going to be a major cluster if or when it occurs, but it's going to be a major hardship for local elected clerks at the county level who have to run their office, the election division, their voters registration room, and deal with all of this. You know, something that we've never talked about in anything last year when we were dealing with the budget, anytime that this has been brought up, nobody's talked about the amount of money that this is going to cost to prepare all of this and to change all of this shit for 92 counties. Yeah, there'll be some counties that aren't affected. But then again, there'll be a lot of counties that are.
That, if it should happen, that eventually happens. Sections 9 and 10 are merely conforming changes. Section 11 requires the election division to assist counties with implementation. And section 12 makes clear that somebody who's currently serving in a district stays as the representative of that district until the new Congress. So if you're in the 119th Congress, you are in the current maps. And if you are running for the 120th Congress, you will be in the new maps that we're creating today. I do know that the Secretary of State's office is here. We've got some excellent expertise if there's particular questions. And that
The Secretary of State is an idiot.
is the bill, House Bill 1032 for redistricting. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Smaltz. This time I would entertain questions for Representative Smaltz. Representative Pierce.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Representative Smaltz, if I understand your
Okay, so we're back to the Democrat side of the room. And again, Democrat Matt Pierce, he's party leadership. He's from District 61. He's been there for quite some time. And he's a good old boy Democrat, but he's got some pretty based questions, in my opinion, throughout this. Okay.
your testimony correctly, you're saying the whole point of this exercise is to give Republicans 9 seats out of 9 as opposed to the current 7 out of 9?
Representative Pierce, thank you. I'm glad that you understand this is purely for political performance.
Listen to that. Listen to this. It's so insane. If this were someplace else, this would be hilarious. I cannot comprehend this. This is insane. I'm young. I consider myself young. I feel young. I'm 44. I'm not 18 anymore. But I'm young for having the experience in politics that I have. Normally, somebody that has 34 years in politics is 60 years old. I've been in politics for a very long time, and I just keep saying that to tell you, yes, Kate, yes, I keep saying that to tell you how insane this is when we hear this.
Republicans 9 seats out of 9 as opposed to the current 7 out of 9?
I'm glad you say
Pierce,
that.
Thank you. I'm glad that you understand this is purely for political performance.
This is only for political performance. That's wild.
It doesn't guarantee 9 Republican maps, but it does.
That's the funny thing. What happens if we do all of this and we still wind up with 7-2, or better yet, 6-3 or 5-4? Like,
to give Republicans an advantage for that to happen.
we need the advantage. We want the advantage. It's about advantage.
Why did the majority, your party, your caucus, decide that this needed to be done now?
I think now is the time frame that we have. Representative Pierce.
Listen, like, this guy could be a rocket scientist. Why are we doing this now as opposed to 4 years ago when we did it? Well, now is the time frame that we have. Now is the time frame that we have. I'm just going to start saying that. Now is the time frame that we have. That's going to become a saying of mine. Now is the time frame that we have. Now is the time frame that we have. I'm going to put that on a shirt. Yes, he sounds like Kamala with the one. Now is the time frame that we have. Why didn't they do this back when we were, the Republicans had control when we were changing the ballots just a couple of years ago.
We don't have the luxury of more time and putting this off. Our campaign timeline starts very soon. We
here,
can't
Paul.
put it off like a state, maybe Virginia has until next August. We do not have that. Our filing date opens in 30 days. So we need to work through the process in an expeditious way. So now is the time.
Further questions, Representative Pierce?
Yes, I unfortunately have a lot of questions, which you can imagine. It's a pretty complex topic. So, because as we know, this has been discussed since August, and we thought last week that this wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
And then
Katie.
It is going to happen. And so, is it happening because President Trump threatened to primary Indiana Republicans who didn't go along with his demand that these maps be
Admiral.
changed?
I am super happy that you asked that question because I've been hearing that for quite some time. And I will tell you, that is categorically untrue in my case. I can't speak for everybody, but I will tell you that I did talk to the president, that I did talk to Vice President J.D. Vance twice. I found that they were very professional, that they provided and laid out their case, that they gave me information that I could check myself. And since we have had since August, I have had plenty of time, adequate time to consider. I haven't laid down one way or the other for the last several months. And I was not forced, coerced, or otherwise arm twisted into doing this. I felt like the administration was very professional in allowing me to get there on my own. So no, to your question, categorically, no.
Well, obviously, Representative Smaltz, there's the issue of you as the author of the bill, but there's also the issue as the caucus as a whole, because this was obviously a caucus decision. And so you're aware that President Trump tweeted out several times that the rhinos who won't get on board need to be primaried. And in fact, he called out Representative Bray, Senator Bray, and some other members who then unfortunately got swatted, a number of them.
Katie.
But
that's Kyle
would you
Pierce.
agree that there's pressure placed on the caucus by the president with his tweets, basically saying, if you don't go along with this, I'm going to primary you?
I will tell you, Representative Pierce, that political pressure is part of politics.
I love this.
And I will counter what you're claiming with yesterday, because I support this. I was threatened to have my family killed in front of me, whereafter I would be killed.
I'm not laughing because of that. That's horrible. I condemn political violence, whether you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, independent, socialist, communist, whatever the deal is. I condemn all political violence. I condemn all violence for words and thoughts and beliefs and opinions. I'm a First Amendment advocate, and everyone has the right to speak and attempt to be heard. You don't have a right to be heard. You have a right to speak. But the fact that someone threatened him, his family, that's just despicable, deplorable. He's like, nothing is making me, nothing's twisting my arm to do this. I was threatened to be killed yesterday. They were going to kill my family and then kill me after they killed my family in front of me. But my arm hasn't been twisted.
That isn't going to change my mind. It's political pressure.
Kill my family.
And it's part of what we've run for these. We know that is going to happen. It is not an unusual part of the process. You've been here a long time. You've seen it.
The realist, yes.
It's part of the process.
And so same thing with Governor Braun's tweet saying that, or his posting saying that he would primary people who didn't get on board with redistricting.
If you're asking me if I felt political pressure, I can answer that. I can't tell you what other people feel, but I have not felt any pressure that has caused me any great concern.
He doesn't have great concern that his family's going to be killed in front of him. That's such a weird statement to say. Like, look, I know what he's getting at, and again, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the absurdity of all of this, not at what he's talking about. I've been threatened to be killed because of things I've said. I have had people text me anonymously, call me, Facebook message me, email me, send me letters in snail mail to my house, man. I've had people approach me at meetings, at council meetings, at commissioners meetings, just out in the world, which is why I am, as I was when I was a police officer all the way through, proficient with the carrying of weapons and handguns, and routinely have one or many on me. And so I'm prepared to take care of myself if and when needed. But it gets to the point where you hear it so many times, you're like, okay, pal, whatever. So like, I definitely get what he's saying here, but it's just the absurdity of all of this is crazy.
Thrilled when somebody threatened my life and my family's life because I support this. And I think there's certainly people on both sides who are trying to apply inappropriate pressure. But in my case, from the president, from the vice president, and from the governor, I have not felt any pressure that I was uncomfortable with.
The chair recognizes Representative Jackson.
I was comfortable with the pressure.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to state, if I could.
Representative Pierce, I recognize Representative Jackson. I will return to you. Okay. Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Smalls, since 2021, when these last maps were drawn, what criteria has happened to determine that these existing maps require revision now?
Good
well,
question.
I would say that the movement across the country is becoming the new norm of redrawing maps. I think that what we're seeing is in states like Virginia, Maryland, Connecticut, Colorado, New Mexico, California, Missouri, North Carolina, Texas, Ohio, and Florida, taking action now has the potential to create a political imbalance in Congress. And I think, and to be fair, I hold no ill will to the Democrat states that have been doing this for years and years.
Yeah, okay.
They were smart. They followed the rules. They took it to court, and they were supported. We're doing the same thing now with the hope of maintaining political balance.
So Jackson for a follow-up.
So basically, Representative Smalls, you're saying this is retaliation. Okay, what problems with the current maps have been identified that require immediate legislative actions?
I think if we look at the maps, we drew them in a way that created a political advantage where there was not one.
Okay. Has there been any evidence of population shifts or demographic changes significant enough to warrant mid-decade redistricting?
These maps are entirely focused on creating a political advantage for Republicans in the coming.
I feel like every time they say it, like a buzzer should go off and confetti should fall down. Like they've, this has got nothing to do with people moving or leaving or coming or going. It's all about political performance. It's all about political. All we want is we don't like serving the people. We just like getting Republicans elected,
Congressional election.
Thank you.
Representative Pryor is recognized.
But Vanilla Thunder, no. That's just for these fools that are tossing this around. It's been a problem for the people forever. Nobody's liked it or wanted it. It's needed to stop for a long time. Gerrymandering has been here and been around since the founding fathers. It's not new, and it's never been good. The founding fathers were extremely worried about political parties. That is a perversion on the governmental process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also have.
And it sounded like I was being shitty towards you, and I wasn't. It's just my disdain for this nonsense that's going on. So that wasn't aimed at you. I apologize.
A lot of questions. But before I ask my question, I just want to make a statement about the pressure that Representative Smalls alluded to. I think it is very appropriate for us to have pressure. But what I don't agree with is violence and threats. That is not pressure. And to what I was hearing, and maybe that was not the intent, to make it seem as though that is somehow okay and a part of the job. Okay, but when you look at Congressional District 4, it completely cracks that district. And that would clearly be racial gerrymandering, and that is not constitutional.
No consideration was given to that at all. These maps are drawn purely for political performance.
Okay. But that does not mean that they're not racially gerrymandered. I just want to be clear about that. You did it for political performance, but that does not mean that it's not racially gerrymandered. So thank you for that.
He says it like another 500 times. We're not going to listen to it all. I just wanted you to hear that. Okay. So we're going to jump ahead here, but before we do, I want to show you just in brief. I want to show you a couple of the people that spoke. They only got a few moments. Like I said, okay, I'll put it forward here and let you see. Okay, so we're going to go blast through these. Okay,
courage in placing the American people, Hoosiers, and our Constitution before partisan politics.
Silencing communities
they'll have to deal with these consequences of this action. Another thing that I'll just talk about too, that was in the news, unfortunately, is I did receive a swatting incident and a bomb threats, other things happened.
This guy is running for office. He's a Republican. He was one of the two people that spoke in favor of it. And I think he might have been the only person that spoke that caused the representatives to ask him questions. Which I felt was kind of interesting. Nobody else asked any questions of any of the speakers. Yeah. A
lot of the other legislators too. I'm not blaming any of you for it, obviously, but the reality is
their connection and weakens their voice. 2, loss of meaningful representation.
I'm just going through some of the people here. I'm looking for a couple people specifically. Oh, check this cat out.
And I have to disagree with Representative Smaltz that it's just part of the process. It shouldn't be. In addition to opposing redistricting, I want to share what's happening in places like Rushville, Tipton, Windfall, Delphi, and Flora. Because while you're here pushing an unnecessary change, we're dealing with the real consequences of SCA 1. These places built me, and it's important. City and county councilors are making cut after cut. Schools are stretching every dollar and still losing resources. The picture in 2028 is bleak. When SCA 1's impact started hitting rural Indiana, I started to show up at meetings. I reached out to my representatives. Some are harder to reach than others, as you can all probably attest. I asked, hey, we're seeing all these issues with SCA 1. Why not reconvene early? Let's do something about it. I was told by many, no, that's impossible. Yet, here we are, December 2nd, and we're talking about redistricting. I started my career in the golf business, and I'm not sure if many of you are golfers, but imagine playing a guy, you get beat by 7 on the front 9, and he goes, I'm gonna need 2 more on the back. That's not competition, and that's not what makes Indiana better. To make it worse, a national leader posted abhorrent things with no shame. I think most civilized adults have stopped using certain words a long time ago, and it saddens me that we don't seem to have the same outrage on both sides of the aisle. I do want to say thank you to Senator Mike Bohacek for being one of the few willing to say something that needed to be said. One party has had a supermajority for over 13 years and now believes it's acceptable to violate redistricting norms to help their friends in Washington. This whole production here is costing taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, every small town has been asked to cut. And what can you do to lean out? This whole production, again, is unnecessary. And this isn't leadership.
This guy was basically like about to cry the entire time he was talking.
Representation. And Hoosiers deserve better than a government that bends to the anger of one man while ignoring millions. And with that being said, I thank you for listening, and all these reasons are why I'm running for House District 38 in 2026.
I'm running for House District 38.
Thank you for your time.
Laura
No.
Sinkhorn again. Isaiah Link. Isaiah?
Nick Roberts. That's
Nick Roberts.
No.
Didn't Nick Roberts already speak?
Yeah, right, Catherine.
he's my twin brother.
He's your twin?
Yeah, no, it's a long story. I was put on the list before, and he said I could go for him because he already went. For some reason, he's on there.
What's your name?
Nathan Roberts.
Nathan Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Addressed by the
it's
office you
this
work
guy. The brother didn't get the questions. It's this guy that's running. This guy's running, and this guy is the one that got the questions asked.
No firings, no apologies. That congressman was Andre Carson. Why in the world are Republicans going to bat for a congressman who allows his staffers to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? The Bartholomew County Democratic Party in Columbus, Indiana.
And here's the deal. Let me get this. I want Andre Carson beat. Beat him. Let's put a candidate in there that can speak to the people, that can reach to the people, a candidate that we can actually put power and money behind. They've got the money. If they would stop throwing it to other people that don't deserve it, running the HRCC's giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to defeat specific state representatives and state senators places because they think they might be a little too real conservative and they don't fit into their establishment footprint. So they put just ridiculous amounts of money behind other people. That's just ridiculous. They could actually throw that money behind real good candidates and really get in there and do what they could to try and beat Andre Carson or Marvan. Whatever, I'm not a fan of Carson, but I still don't want these maps. Get out of here, Paul McCartney.
Anna said, quote, violent delights have violent ends after Charlie's death. In Virginia, Democrats elected an attorney general who said he wishes that the 5-year-old children of their state's very moderate Republican House Majority leader should be killed because, quote, that's the only way you can teach fascists a lesson. How many Democrats in Indiana did you see condemn any of these things? This is who we're up against in our country. They will do anything necessary to win, including violence. Republicans have always and will always be a peaceful party, but we can't fight in this political battle with our hands completely tied behind our backs. And never forget that despite all the complaining from Indianapolis Democrats, they are quiet as church mice when their fellow party members gerrymander all over the country. When was the last time you heard an Indiana Democrat demand Republican congressional seats in New England or Illinois? New England's congressional delegation has 21 Democrats and 0 Republicans. This is despite New England voting for Kamala Harris by just 18 points, which is less than Trump. Indiana voted for Trump, but we give Democrats in Indiana 2 seats. In Illinois, they have 14 Democrats and 3 Republicans. Their election was only an 11-point win for Kamala Harris. Both of these gerrymanders occurred far before Indiana even discussed this for the first time and are much more extreme. Democrats had their opportunity to call for fair maps in those areas, but of course it never happened. They will always support party over country. Lastly, many Republicans say, oh, we can't do this because if we pass the new maps, we will lose support at the state level and we might lose our supermajority. That's nonsense. This was the same excuse that some Republicans used in 2022 to argue against passing an abortion ban. Remember that blue wave in Indiana in 2022? Of course you don't, because no actual Republican voters would actually be mad about redistricting. And do not believe the poll commissioned by the Indiana conservation voters. That is a
Please
partisan.
conclude your remarks.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm 100% support the new maps and strongly encourage Republicans in the state house to have the courage to represent their constituents. Thank you.
Now this gets weird here.
A question for the witness.
They call him back up.
Representative Pryor.
Thank you. Can you, right here, can you talk about all of the violence that the president has touted, engaged in, and the other Republicans that have touted and engaged in against Democrats? Or are you not aware that Democrats have consistently been targets of violence and threats from Republicans?
What violence and threats are you talking about?
Well, let's talk about Minnesota.
I would counter with the example of Charlie Kirk.
And how about the president also stating that he could walk down a street and kill someone? Fit that. Well, so you're aware that Republicans.
That was a joke.
How do you know it was a joke?
Well, that was a long time ago, and he was joking. But the violence in Minnesota, was there any Republicans that cheered that on or supported that? I didn't see any. But in the polls of the country, 30% of Democrats in the country say they loved the death of Charlie Kirk and thought that was a good thing. And there were staffers in congressional offices.
Well, I'm not aware of anyone that has that appreciate or wanted the death of Charlie Kirk.
Ellen Omar.
Like I said, I'm not aware of anyone, but I think it's very important to point out that a lot of the violence that comes, you
very
cannot
strange,
just put on one particular party, particularly when you look at all of the recent deaths. They have been people that have a
okay, love this dude.
Politics. His brother before that.
Love this guy that actually comes with the pirate eyeball patch. Literally has
really
the
didn't want any
skull and crossbones.
Political parties at all.
Amazing.
They thought it should just.
It's about this point we start getting into the Saturday Night Live put on of this. So if the R's get total control, political violence will end. Yes. Yes. So we start getting real crazy around this part.
Indiana House used the excuse, well, both Democrats and Republicans know they want this. I want to remind you, we are not the rest of the country.
Okay.
Concerned Hoosier. I'm a badly retired college president, and I live.
Of course you are.
Michael Ropp. Cecilia Pointer, welcome.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Pointer. I'm a lifelong Hoosier, and I'm representing myself.
All right, here we go. This is great. Love
Welcome,
this
Mr.
guy.
Stanton.
I felt like this was like a open night comedy, amateur hour.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee. My name is Ben Stanton. I represent myself, and I apologize in advance for any rant and bullying I do. I'm not good with public speaking. This is my second time doing it. But I saw this map. I have it with me, actually. This map right here. And I just had to come here to have my voice heard, as have many of other Hoosiers here. This map just makes me disappointed, and it makes me angry. And not just the map, but the bill that it's tied to. It's just, this bill's trying to force down this map, trying to speed run it, trying to get it through.
If he would be a little bit more high pitched, this would be kind of a pretty good impression of Bobcat Goldthwait. Do you remember who he is?
When it's 5 years too early for it. Wait.
It's 5 years too early.
Till 2030 if you really want to rig the system. Indiana's already a red state. We don't need it redder. We just not
I love
everyone's here's red. I'm sorry.
I love this dude.
Haven't done this much before.
Somebody commented and said, I guarantee you this dude is the only social media this guy is on is Reddit.
I don't want the people of Indiana to feel disenfranchised, and this map would do just that. Disenfranchise voters. We're already in the bottom 10 of state voter turnout, and this map just who would want to vote
off
when they don't feel like they're heard? This map makes me feel like I won't be heard. It's just, this map's not fair. And drawing Marion County and quartering it?
Drawing and quartering it.
Malarkey. It is terrible. And consider this. Out of everyone that we've heard so far, only two people who have come to this podium, or the other one on the other side, have spoken in favor of this. And there have been tens, if not 100 people who have come.
Tens, if not 100. Oh God, I love that guy. Now, so just to give you some reference, this is what we got going on here with this kid.
Thank you very much. It feels good to me. Thank you very much. It feels good to
All right. God.
2 out of 100. Listen to the 98. I thank you for your time, and please vote no on this bill.
I wanted him to give us a growl one time.
Aaron Whitney, welcome.
Present.
Oh, now look at this. This is my favorite guy.
Jane Alexander on deck.
Look, folks. We're gonna get through here quick. We got a little bit more to go. Just bear with me. I won't be too long on you. This won't be like a Catherine night, but we got just a little bit to go through. So just bear with me. So this guy jumps the line. He is right, Robert.
Sir, are you Michael Sahir?
No, he had to leave. He gave me his time.
No, he had to. I killed him in the bathroom. He had to leave. He gave me his time.
What is your name?
Elder Umoja Ajabu.
And did you sign up? I don't see your name here, but go ahead. Please go ahead.
What happened? I wonder what was going on. That's what happened.
Please go ahead. Please speak. I'm giving you the floor.
Thank you. And my condolences to you. I know you miss Big Mama. And normally,
I know you miss Big
I
Mama.
talk about Republicans, but I want to talk to you today.
I like this guy.
Y'all don't like Mike Pence? I mean, you're supporting the guy that was supporting people that wanted to hang him.
Yeah, Admiral.
And I mean, you know, me and Mike, our policies probably differ.
No way.
Considerably.
No.
But I don't want him hung. And you got a guy who's compromising you, making you look weak. He was told, you ain't got the votes. I want the votes. Find me the votes. And you broke. For a guy that was supporting hanging Mike Pence.
Love it.
Been a poll worker for 20 years in 3 different states.
I love this guy. Dude, this is central casting. I've seen every one of these people in a movie in the last 20 years. This is the rent's too damn high guy. This is like Rick Moranis or any kind of like one of the bumbling attorneys that's like gonna get like is gonna like come and get the guy that's like been accused of killing somebody, but he didn't. And this is the bad attorney that he gets before he hires the good attorney. This guy says he could defeat Charlie Kirk in a debate. Listen.
They speak of the chaos that this will cause at the poll. I know in my home state of New Jersey, Hurricane Sandy hit.
Yes, of course. This guy's here all the way from New Jersey. What in the hell? In my home state of New Jersey.
And all of a sudden, people were thrown out of their houses, and there was nothing but chaos. This will make Hurricane Sandy look like a mild summer breeze in terms of poll workers and chaos. It's just going to be crazy. I also want to condemn all the political violence. I don't approve of killing Charlie Kirk. I wish I could have debated him because I could have beat him in a debate. And I also hold something up here, and I ask anybody here, how is this fair? I am a known pickleball player in this city. And I want to win against the best, and so should you. So why don't you want to win against the best? Why can't you win on merit?
Next, I'm going to read to you from my poetry.
Instead, you have to cheat to win? That's ridiculous. That ruins the whole game. I don't call out balls that are in pickleball. I don't cheat. Hoosiers don't cheat. So, and I also call out Nathan Roberts because I'm reminding him, what about January 6th? What happened then? What happened this past January? No violence. So it's not just Republicans, not just Democrats. It's the culture that we live in. And I'm going to end, and I'm going to keep this brief.
Yes, Keith.
With a bit of poetry that I just wrote.
Poetry?
So I'm going to talk about why we should not be doing this.
Listen.
I walk through the mist, wondering where I am, and a face emerged from the grayness, and I stare into the angry face of George Washington.
Did he say gayness or grayness? I'm confused.
Other
George
founding
Washington.
fathers keep coming as the Liberty Bowl tolls for the death of democracy and common sense.
Oh.
I see Hamilton shaking his head no. Franklin hanging his head in shame. I ask, whatever happened to fairness? Thus, I taught my children long ago not to change the rules in mid-game.
This guy's got kids. Does anybody want to, are we serious? Does this dude have kids? I want to meet this guy's kids.
So I stand with our founding fathers, and I wonder what is happening to our nation as I listen to those voices from so long ago. And I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Alex Hardy.
I love that guy.
My name is Alex Hardy.
Oh,
I'm a veteran.
oh. This dude's cool too. Watch this.
twice deployed to the Iraq War, and I'm running for Congress for the 6th District to make Jefferson Shreve leave. But I don't come here as somebody running for office. I come here as a citizen. These maps are racist. I have a map right here showing the minority populations in our state. And if you notice, all of the areas, about 800,000 people cracked up for racist reasons. 175,724 people broken up out of the 7th District for CD4. 149,218 minority people broken up for District 5. You've got 205,387 minority veterans broken up for District 6. 166,360 broken up for District 7, and then 209,782 people broken up for District 9. These are racist. But also it's a betrayal of everything the conservatives stand for. I sat here and listened to conservatives say, you'll never see any kind of DCing here. Do you guys know what that means? And what are you doing? You're a rubber stamp for a felonious fisherman bombing rapist. You are sacrificing our sovereignty to make a felon feel better because he scares accountability. What are you even doing? If he's just going to do your job, you don't even need to be here. None of you even saw the map. It's not your map, it's DC's map. They fed it to you, and you're swallowing it. You're swallowing your decency. You're swallowing our time. Every single person's vote deserves representation. Everything you're doing about this is racist. You are racist. You are using the thinly veiled pretense of politics to just accidentally benefit the white bourgeoisie.
Map. You're swallowing it like I'm swallowing this microphone. Dude, what is he doing to the microphone? Two-handing it, bro. Relax.
It's just an accident.
Listen to this.
You just slipped into racism. Is this the best you can do? Is this the culmination of your political career? For somebody from Brooklyn who can't sell steak, who rapes women, who will rape your children next if you let him?
What?
Who speaks for them?
Who? I raped children?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, God.
Ann Phelan.
Oh, God.
So I again ask you, please reject.
When funding and infrastructure follow the wrong numbers, clinicians.
Okay.
Representative Payne.
No. Hoosiers and give them the opportunity to.
So we have had major issues.
And so that.
And what they found is that
that's the end of that. So that was that. That dude, that was yesterday. That whole thing lasted. I saved you. That lasted 5.5 hours. That was 5.5 hours of total chaos and insanity. So then what occurred from there was not yesterday, 2 days ago. That then kicked to the full House for a vote. Excuse me, not for the, for the vote. Yes. But before we get to the vote, they needed to go through full House discussion, and they needed to go through any amendments that could be given from the floor. And basically what happened was, over the course of 2 hours from to today's date at 1:30, essentially what happened was the House met, and there were some Democrats that did not attend. Of course, that's kind of what they do. But then we went here to this, and they just had Let me get my list out here. I can tell you exactly. I wrote it down. I wrote them all down. So, amendment number 5. There were just various amendments that dealt with having a third party do this, taking care of, if you're going to do the maps, you got to take care of other issues like child hunger, child health care for adults, utility issues. So Amendment 5 was put forward by Matt Pierce, Democrat from 61. The second amendment, then from there, Amendment 1. I'm going to go in order. Amendment 5 was the first one. Amendment 1 was Sue Arrington from District 34. That was the one for the healthcare, and they all failed. The first one failed 28 to 65. Arrington's failed 27 to 67. Amendment 3 was Carolyn Jackson from Democrat District 1. She wanted to have a public hearing in each congressional district. It failed 30 yeses to 64 noes. Matt Gore, I forget what his was. Amendment 12, it failed 29 yeses to 66 noes. Robin Shackelford, Democrat from 98th District, her 15th Amendment was to look through and make sure that there was no discrimination district by district in the new maps. It failed 29 to 66. Amendment 10 was put forward by Earl Harris, Democrat from District 2, and he wanted something to he wanted to talk about the specific district lines, and it failed. Matt Gore put up Amendment 13. It failed 28 to 66. Vernon Smith from District 14, Democrat, put Amendment 9. And this, I love this one because he actually talked about the appropriations, the money that this was going to cost. And they didn't want to take a vote. They appealed his amendment saying that it was not proper to form and rule. And so then they had a vote on it, and they sustained the chair's ruling, 63 yes, 29 no. So they didn't get to have that amendment. Amendment 17 was put forward by Ed Delaney from 86. It failed 28 to 41. Ed Delaney put up another one. Amendment 18 failed 29 to 65. Greg Porter, a Democrat from 96, put up Amendment 8, which failed 29 to 64. Porter put up another one, Amendment 16, that failed 27 to 65. He put up another one, Amendment 2, that failed 29 to 63. I guess that was Amendment 21. Sorry. Amendment 2 was put up by John Bartlett of District 95, Democrat. And again, it was appealed, and they sustained the chair's ruling, 65 yeses to 27 noes. And then Earl Harris, Democrat from District 2, put up Amendment 7, which failed 28 yeses to 65 noes. And so basically the Democrats were attempting to just stall it or delay it and to put things on it, which, some of the things I agreed with, some of them I did not agree with, but they gave it a try, I guess, and they all failed. Everything failed. So then that means, ladies and gentlemen, that the vote then goes to the floor tomorrow. I got to get that. The vote goes to the floor tomorrow at 10 a.m. to the full House. They will have a vote, and once they vote, it will then, if it passes, it'll go to the Senate. and the Senate will meet mid-morning on Monday the 8th. If it goes to the Senate, and I fully suspect that it will go to the Senate, I will be down in Indy next week. So I'm going to go down there and be there during the events. So we'll live stream from there, and we'll participate with that because that's where the party's going to be. I don't think there's anything major that occurred here. Does the mic face the committee people? What do you mean, when? During the votes?
In 2021, as I said in the earlier my amendment, only 43 people managed to get there. So the lack of transparency, the lack of
suiting the whims of one political party. A person who must apparently remain unnamed has told the world that this draft map process is only about politics. Therefore,
that we're in. And this bill was very carefully crafted for partisan performance only.
The House Bill 1032 be amended to read as follows. Page 1 between lines 9 and 10.
For the motion and second, Chair.
By the political scheme. During Tuesday's committee hearing.
And then here's where they say it.
Representative Zimmerman's point of order is that amendment number 2 violates Rule 80 on germaneness. The chair will put the House in recess as we consider the point of order.
Oh, I'll let you see a vote. This is how the votes look.
Have all the members voted?
Of course, the people that we look for. Criswell voted in line with the party people. Prescott voted in line. Kyle Pierce voted in line. Lawson voted in line. So, everybody that we would expect to vote the way that we would think they would voted in line. And that's just how it was.
I understand the response.
And then here's what we hear at the very end.
Further amendments? Chair sees none. Bill's ordered to engrossment.
Order to engrossment.
Reminder of the body that we will meet beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow. With that, the chair recognizes Representative Pressel for a motion. Saying aye. Those opposed, no. Motion passes. We are adjourned.
And so with that, the vote goes to the floor tomorrow at 5, and that's it, and that's that. We will be live streaming that. We'll keep you posted on what goes on there and up to date. You'll be able to find that on our Facebook page and on Twitter. What I've been doing, just so you guys know, for anybody that wants to follow along, I post the stuff, but what I've been doing is I have created a thread. So I make one Facebook page, says 12/3/25 for the record, House Bill 1032. It's here, and I it comes down here. No, that's not it. Wait a minute. Oh, let me refresh this. Give me a second here. I was looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Here's what I'm looking at. Okay, right here. Thursday, December 4th, 2025, the Indiana State House of Representatives are in session and will be meeting as a full body at 1:30 p.m. to discuss House Bill 1032. The State House will full. I don't know what I'm saying there. I'll have to fix that. The State House will vote in full for the final time on House Bill 1032 on Friday, December 5th, 2025. There are also 3 committees that are scheduled to meet today at 8:30 a.m. This post will be used as a thread for all posts relating to the business of the Indiana State House today, Thursday, December 4th, 2025. And then so underneath each of those posts, I post everything as it pertains to what goes on. I post about what goes on in the meetings. I post the actual meetings and everything that you need. So if you're looking for that stuff, that's where you'll find all of that. And I will do the same thing for tomorrow's meeting. And that's how that'll be. Okay, before we leave here, really quickly, I just want to put this up here, let you guys see this. They put up the information about today's Light Up Muncie, had a great turnout. Ridenauer does his little community thing.
Today is December 3rd. It is a Wednesday, and I've got some updates for you. First of all, I want to remind everybody tomorrow night is Light Up Muncie. There are a number of things happening. So we're going to have youth, children's choirs will be singing. All of this will start at 5 o'clock at Cannon Commons. Before that, and along with that, you'll have all of the normal first Thursday opportunities. But downtown at Cannon Commons, there's going to be ice skating. There's going to be a lot of family activities that'll be going on. There'll be music events. There'll be entertainment. There will be.
That'll be wonderful.
And one of the people that will be in the parade will be Santa.
Santa.
And we'll have fun. You can participate with some of our local businesses. And
great.
A couple of things that I just want to make sure people are aware of is the Minnetrista Luminaria there. That will be going on Friday
it's so
and
crazy,
Saturday.
Kate.
It's always a beautiful
so
event. Muncie Community Sing. That'll be going cool. I think there's 2 different performances at 4 p.m. and 7. I'm sure people are aware of when you're coming downtown. Weiser Street has some major updates. Our friends at the Muncie Sanitary District are doing a replacement. There are actually 3 different sewer lines that connect right at that point. And they've got to close down the road. So you'll want to come in on Washington Street, which is very convenient. So just cross that bridge, or you can come down Walnut Street. And fortunately for us, 90% of our businesses that will be open for some of these events are on Walnut, but you can get to all the businesses downtown. You can get to them from the Washington Street Bridge and come in that way. Or you can come down Walnut Street if you're comfortable.
I got to talk to you all about this. I got to talk to you about this. So this was the big this was the big kicker. Okay, this is what did not make a damn bit of sense. So on Monday morning, people came into work and had no problem coming in and crossing the bridge. Okay. So the line right to the gray road with the arrows going down it on the right-hand side of this map is Walnut. That's the main thoroughfare through Muncie. The yellow building here that my cursor is on is the City Hall. The pink building up here at the top is the Field House. This building down here, the pink building, is the bank building. The triangle right here is the old county jail. It's now the condos. And the yellow L, upside down L here, is the old county building. So this is Walnut Street. Well, this, by the river, is Wheeling and the Wheeling Bridge. And people were coming to work on Monday, and they crossed the bridge at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:15. And then at 8:35, boom, bang, pow, they closed that road off. Nobody knew. There was no word put out. The city of Muncie put nothing out. The Muncie Sanitary District put nothing out. WLBC put nothing out. I didn't know anything. I didn't say anything about it. The Ball State Daily News, the Star Press, nobody put anything out. and people started losing their minds, rightfully so. What's going on? Why is this happening? What's going on here? And you'll see here in this article from Stephanie Weichman of NPR, says Muncie High Street Bridge month-long closure takes county by surprise. At the end of the Monday morning Delaware County Commissioners meeting, this was actually brought up in the commissioners meeting, County EMS Director John Catino told commissioners that High Street Bridge had been closed without advanced notice to his department. He heard about it on the dispatch radio. So normally when there is a major thoroughfare closed down for any length of time, they notify all police, fire, and EMS in case, God forbid, they have to get someone to someplace or emergency travel, which happens frequently, in order to get people to the hospital or things like that. And let me be very clear, folks, from the south, specifically the southeast side of Muncie, definitely from downtown Muncie, if you're trying to get people from south of the river to the hospital, this is the road you use. You use High Street Bridge onto Wheeling because this neighborhood right over here is normal neighborhood. It's Ball State, and this second road is the one third up is how you get to the hospital. This is a major thoroughfare. So the fact that EMS, dispatch, police, fire, Muncie Police, Delaware County Sheriff's Department, State Police, they were not notified is a big deal. The city of Muncie should have told this. MSD should have told this. The commissioner should have known about it from the city. This was a major screw up. And we'll see here that he says he'd learned about it on the radio. And Commissioner Shannon Henry said, it wasn't closed when I came in. And Catino said, no, it happened about 8:15, between 8:15 or 9:15 this morning. Catino said that's when the county highway department had to close the bridge. His department gets notified in advance. The county now says that the Muncie Sanitary District is closing the bridge and several streets for about a month to do work. Those streets are Wheeling at the High Street Bridge, High Street from Weiser to South Gilbert, Franklin from High Street to South Gilbert, Weiser from High Street to East Walnut. Those streets surround a piece of land where the new City Gateway Park and apartment complex is scheduled to be built, according to city announcement last month about the building, not about the road closing. Officials say the closures could last the entire month of December, but are hopeful of reopening as soon as December 19th. But ladies and gentlemen, then that's when it gets really crazy, because the city of Muncie communications department puts out a notice from MSD, and MSD says it's going to be closed for 2 or 3 months. Now, that's a big difference compared to 1 month, okay? It could be closed for up to 1 month, or they say. And so it's very crazy. There are people fighting all about this. Piss poor communication once again. And the best part about this is you have the city of Muncie and Ridenhour's administration saying, this isn't our fault. It wasn't us. It was Muncie Sanitary District, which is in our building. They're a separate entity from us. I get so sick of hearing that. Muncie Sanitary District says, oh, hey, we're not the city. We're not responsible for what the city does. That's them. And the city of Muncie says, oh, we're not MSD. That's a separate entity. That's not us. And the commissioners say, oh, that's the city. It's not us. That's a different entity. And the city says, we're not the commissioners. No shit. You're all separate, but you should be working together. You should be communicating, and everybody should be doing better than this. This is a horrible time for these roads to be closed because of Christmas and the shops downtown being opening. Now, like they said, thank God most of them are along Walnut, and you can divert around it. This was just handled piss poor. But the biggest problem is once it's handled badly, they then foul it up worse, because when people are rightfully upset, They don't stand up and say, we know we screwed up, we're sorry. They get defensive, they get hateful, they get snarky, they get rude, and they double down on the insanity. And that is the biggest issue here. So yet again, another piss poor example of Dan's communication, because at the bottom line, if you're shutting down streets in the city of Muncie, if you're an entity and the Muncie mayor doesn't know about it, that's a problem. Specifically, if you're an entity called Muncie Sanitary District and the city, it all falls back to the mayor. He might not like that, but when he decided to run for the office, that's what happened. So I'm sorry about Dan, but that's just what happens there. And unfortunately, I guess he's never going to ever learn it. But that's just what happens. So that's that. Okay. I've got just two more quick statements that I want to tell you. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up. Let me see this here really quickly. Okay, we will watch through this. This is a quick 2-minute, 30-second event.
Pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic, one nation, with liberty and Thanksgiving.
Present.
We've been given the minutes from the November 26th meeting.
And given the minutes.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I move approval in the minutes.
Lola Mauer's not there, of course.
Questions? And accepted. Thank you very much. We have been given the register of claims. Craig Wright, City Controller. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. We had a couple larger claims on this. Our fourth quarter 9/11 fee paid to the Delaware County Auditor for $250,000, and then some construction projects, one on Columbus Avenue, and also finishing up the fire station number 6. Which they're just about done with. I think by the break marks, basically said, I think just some furniture needs, about it, and they'll be complete with that. But with that, I'll open it up. Any questions you might have?
Linda, do you have any questions?
I have none.
I do not either. I appreciate it. Any other? Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah, I move approval of the claims for $1,957,742.
And I would second it.
Load of money, no questions. Load of money.
Okay, having none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Just to make everyone aware, we do have a schedule adjustment for the holidays. The Muncie Board of Public Works and Safety will be meeting during Christmas and New Year's holiday. First of all, on Tuesday, December 23rd, instead of Wednesday, December 24th, same time, same place. And then on Tuesday, December 30th, instead of Wednesday, December 31st. Same time, same place. So any other business? We're grateful to have Police Chief Sloan here with us today. Thank you, sir, for all your service and all you do. With that, having no other business, meeting adjourned.
Great. Wonderful. So that was that. Okay. I just want to say that Alva has been keeping up with this, and Alva has said that they have not been posting their claims to the city's website for the last several weeks. So that's one of the things I'm going to do when I get off the show tonight. I'm going to go look through that and find out what the hell's going on. And as soon as I can, I trust him, but as soon as I see that, I'm going to fire off another email. I sent an email to Craig a couple days ago, and I have not got anything back. When I go back there and I look, I'm going to send a longer email to Craig, to Amber, to Dan. I'm going to send it to a bunch of people. We'll see if we can't figure out what the hell's going on here and get that posted back. That's something they used to do. I don't know why they would have stopped. They need to get it all put on there for what's missing, and then they need to keep up weekly, and that needs to not be a thing. So I appreciate Alva's work on that. Last thing that I want to say before we leave. Catherine and I talked the other day about this lady, Stephanie Stennis, and we're going to have her on at some point coming up, who is running in the caucus. Megan and a couple of other people have asked about the caucus, how a caucus works. If somebody, unfortunately, God forbid, dies in office, if somebody leaves, if somebody gets in trouble and is convicted of a felony, if someone leaves office for whatever reason, they retire, they resign, when they leave office, whatever their party is, if they're a Republican or they're a Democrat, that party gets to caucus in a member from their from the Democrat or Republican Party. So if you got a Republican councilman that leaves, the Republicans put in. If you got a Democrat, the Democrats do it. If you got a Democrat commissioner, the Democrats get to do it. If it's a Republican auditor, Republican sheriff. Now that works for local offices around here. Prosecutor is not so. Prosecutor, the judges and prosecutor, the governor appoints for, and state level, the governor appoints for some things. The state level party does other things, but locally around here, if it's a county-wide office, all precinct committee people vote. If it is a district office, like District 1 and the county council, only the precinct committee people from that district vote. If it is city office, so like mayor, only the precinct committee people from the entire city vote. If it's an at-large city council person, all city precincts vote. If it's District 6 in the city, only the precinct people from that district vote. And that's how that is handled. And basically, they can set up the rules and decide how that they can have it a closed caucus. They can have an open caucus. It just depends. It doesn't really matter, but they can kind of run how that is. And Anderson's getting ready to have one. Stephanie Stennis put in and is going to be running and kind of threw a wrench in their plans. Well, when she went to file her paperwork, it's filing for office is free, but when she went to go get her papers notarized at the county building, they charged her $5. And I have never, ever, 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 ever. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, if you say, yikes, I don't know what you're saying there, Karen. Explain. But they charged her $5 to notarize her paperwork. And I've never heard of that. Delaware County doesn't do that. Randolph County doesn't do that. Henry County doesn't do that. Jay County doesn't do that. I'm pretty damn sure that Marion County, Indianapolis doesn't do that. If they're doing it now in Madison County, it's something new. And Terry Austin, the former Democrat Party chair, and Catherine kind of got into a squabble today. We'll talk about that more in detail coming up. Maybe we'll have Catherine on at some point and have her tell you guys if there is. Okay, Karen, I see you. Thank you. Sorry. So we'll have her on. We can talk more about that. But if you want to go see it, you can see it on Catherine's page. Just in closing, I want to say tomorrow morning I will live stream the ordeal. Today's Thursday, which means we're done Friday, Saturday. We're done. I fully expect the House to pass the vote tomorrow. The only way that we would go live tomorrow evening is for some reason if the House doesn't, they're going to. So you can watch the event tomorrow if you want to stay up to date with what's going on over the weekend. Keep track on my Twitter account. Keep track on Facebook. And when I say Facebook, I mean both my Facebook, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, which is facebook.com/Bilbrey318, and the Political Spotlight Facebook, which is facebook.com/Political Spotlight 318. Political Spotlight 318, no the. And Twitter is @Bilbrey Live. So follow those. You can follow all that. I'll be live all weekend. Monday. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to be on the Kendall and Casey show Monday. We'll talk about that Sunday night. I'll keep you posted, but we got a lot of stuff going on. And so I'll already be down there for the show on Monday for the Senate deal. So keep that in mind. I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see you back here Sunday night at 9 p.m. for episode 570. You guys take care. God bless. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a wonderful Friday. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the House vote. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Sunday night. Goodbye. I can't get out of here. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.